This lesson is on translations, and the goal is to find translation images of figures and to identify isometries. The standards are geometry congruence number 2, number 4, and number 6. All right, what you should understand by the end of this lesson is that you can change the position of a geometric figure on a coordinate plane so that the angle measures and the distance between any 2 points of a figure stay the same. So how much do you know about translations? Where are you on this scale? A 1, a 2, a 3, or 4? Write this down at the top of your notes right now. All right, some translations. If you had a domino, you could flip it over, you could slide it, you could turn it, but if you notice, the size of the domino does not change. It's still the same size. The corners or the angles are the same. And so what we're going to be doing, at least for the first part of this unit, is we are going to be moving our shapes around, but the size of them is not going to be changing. All right, now transformation maps every point of a figure onto its image, and you will either see it done with this arrow notation or you're going to see it with what's called prime notation. So you will see something that looks like this, triangle JKQ, and then you will see this prime notation, and it's called J prime, K prime, Q prime, and prime notation is what does it look like after the translation. So here I have this triangle JKQ, and then I have the prime after it's been, actually this has been flipped over or reflected across the line. This is J prime, K prime, Q prime. And notice that when they write this, that it's JKQ, and the prime notation is also JKQ. So they're still in the same order. You're not going to be doing a lot of the rewriting of these, but I just wanted you to notice that. But if you'll notice that these triangles, they are the same size. I haven't, they didn't change the size of them. So the first few lessons, again, we're not going to be changing the size of anything. All right, the first thing we're going to be looking at is a translation. And a translation is just a transformation that it's a slide. So they have taken triangle ABC and they just have slid it, and now we have A prime, B prime, C prime. But notice all they did was take this triangle and they slid it over to the side. Now nothing has changed, it's the same. The angle measurement's the same, the sides lengths are the same. But you're going to do this on a grid, and they're going to tell you how many units to move it, and you have to graph it. So that's what we're going to be doing on the first lesson. All right, here, the first one says to graph this image and to translate it 5 units to the left. All right, so we're going to be moving that 5 units this way and then moving it 2 up. So you're going to be doing 2 different things. We're going to move it 5 units left and then 2 up, and then we're going to put that final image in. So all you're going to do is you're going to count. So pick a point, and so I'm going to start with T, and I'm going to go count over 5 units to the left. I'm going to go ahead and I'll use a little cursor so you can see it. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to go up to 1, 2. So right there is where I'm going to put my first point. And I'm going to have to kind of go back and count it again since I've moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So right here is my first point. All right, now from there, now I can just count over how many spaces R is. It's over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spaces. So I'm going to count 10 spaces over for my R prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that point is going to go right there. And S prime would be up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that S prime would go there. And then I would connect those points. And you're going to actually be graphing these on your iPads. So that's how you're going to be doing those translations. So your first assignment is all about graphing after you're translating left or right, up or down. Here's your first practice problem. You're going to translate that rectangle 4 units down. Practice problem 2. You have a triangle. You're going to translate it 7 units to the right and then 8 units up. All right, the second assignment, which is also on translations, they're going to give you a shape. They're going to give you the coordinate of the vertices, which is the corners. And you have to write the coordinates of the vertices after you translate. Very, very easy. You're going to use a calculator if you need to, but you're going to look at, are you going to the left or the right, and are you going up or down? Now, if you're not moving up or down or left or right, you don't have to do anything to your X or Y. But you need to make sure that you write this down on your notes. If you're going up or down, that's on the Y-axis. So if you are going up, you want to add that value to your Y. If you are going down, you would subtract that from your Y value. Like this one is 1 unit down. So on all of my Y values, I'm going to subtract 1. Now if you're going to the left, you'll subtract from your Y. If you're going to the right, you add to the you add to the X. If you're going to the right, you add to the X. Again, if you're going to the left, subtract from the X. I'm going 9 units to the right. If you go to the right, you add to the X. So on every one of these X values, I'm going to add 9 to the number. So let's take a look and see what we've got. So I'm going to add 9 to my X's. So I would have 0, -4 plus 9 is 5, 1 plus 9 is 10, -4 plus 9 is 5. Now on my Y's, I'm going to subtract 1. -3 minus 1 is -4. -3 minus 1 is -4. 5 minus 1 is 4. And 5 minus 1 is 4. So those are my coordinates after I translate 9 units right and 1 units down. Again, this is what you need to write on your notes so you'll know whether to add or subtract to your X or your Y values that they give you. Here's your practice 3. Here's your practice 4. All right, on the third assignment, they're giving us both a figure and the figure in prime notation. So it's the figure after it's been transformed. This case is a translation, and they want you to write the rule. Now in this case it's going to be fairly easy because they show you it's X plus a number and Y plus a number. So all you have to do is count. Pick a point, any point, I'm going to use I. I starts at -8 and goes to 1. Well, from -8 to 0 is 8, and 1 more is 9. So on my x value, I added 9. On my y value, I'm adding, and I'll start with my I again. I went from, let's see, I'm going from -2 to 4. So from -2 to 0 is 2, and 4 is 6. So on my y, I added 6. So my translation rule was y plus 9, I'm sorry, x plus 9, y plus 6. All you're doing on this one is counting how many spaces did I move up or did I move down. That's my y, change in y. How many places did I move to the left or did I move to the right? That is my change in my x value. Here's your practice 5. And here's your practice 6. You have to come up with the rule on this. So you have those 3 assignments. Where do you feel you're on the scale now? 1, 2, 3, or 4. And write that number at the end of your lesson. And that's all for this lesson.